Okay. Okay, let's take a look at this one. Given that y equals to x squared plus x minus 10, calculate the values of a and b as shown in the following. Okay, so these are the table of points that they give me. Okay, and over here you can see that we need to find these two. This is not complete yet. So what we need to do is, what I do, you can see, here y equals to x squared plus x minus 10. So what I do is I put bracket x squared plus x minus 10. So usually I will put the bracket. Okay, I need to put the bracket so that now I'm going to sub in x equals to negative 2. So go inside the bracket and key in negative 2. So I get minus 8. So my a is minus 8. Okay, so this one 3. So go back to the bracket, key in the 3. And you can see that it is a 2. Okay, so now I have solved that my a is equals to negative 8, my b is 2. Okay, next thing is you need to know how to plan. Okay, you need to plan on how you're going to draw the vertical line, the x-axis and y-axis on your graph. So how are you going to plan? You need to know what's the x range you need to draw. So let's take a look at part B. Part B asks you to use 2 cm to represent 1 unit on the x-axis, 1 cm to represent 1 unit on the y-axis, and they tell you to draw it for minus 4 to 4. So I know my x range is from minus 4 to 4. Since it's equal minus 4 and 4, that means my vertical line, see this one, my vertical line, my vertical line will be in the middle because I have negative 4 to 4. So it's balanced, so I draw my vertical line in the middle. Then the next thing is you need to find out what's your y range. So how do you know which y range? Mine is group tuition. Okay, so group tuition is over here. Sorry, group tuition. You see that? Y range is look over here. See, look at your y value here. Look at your y value over here. What is your most negative? The least value is negative 10 and the positive value is 10. So you can see that my y range is between minus 10 to 10. Again, it is balanced, right? It is equal negative and equal positive. It means that my horizontal line, which is the x-axis, is in the middle. So you can see over here, my x-axis is in the middle of the page. So for this question, the horizontal line is in the middle, the vertical is also in the middle. Then we can start. And take note, do you see on the top left hand side, I always write out what is the scale. The scale, they tell us that x-axis, they want 2 cm to 1 unit. Y-axis, they want 1 cm to 1 unit. So all you need to do is come down to here. Remember just now our x is minus 4 to 4. So my x-axis is 2 cm 1 unit. So it's 2 small square is 2 cm. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Arrow x-axis. Minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, and minus 4. Okay, I retain Sec 3. Anyone got any tips? Study hard. Okay, so 0, and then after that I want 1 to 10. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, over here, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5, minus 6, minus 7, minus 8, minus 9, and minus 10. So plot out the x-axis and y-axis first. Next is plot the points. Plot the points. Okay, so now come back to here. See here, I have always read the x then the y. So the x is minus 4, 2, minus 4, 2. So look at my x-axis is here, go to minus 4, and then the y is positive 2. So mark across here. This is the first point. Minus 4 and 2. The next point is minus 3 and minus 4. So minus 3 and minus 4. Mark across first. Minus 2 and minus 8. Okay, minus 2 and minus 8. Mark across. Okay. Next is minus 1 and minus 10. So minus 1, minus 10, mark across. 0 and negative 10. 0 and negative 10, mark across. Next, 1 and minus 8. 1 and negative 8, mark across first. then 2 and minus 4. 2 and minus 4, mark across. 3 and 2. 3 and 2, mark across. And the last one, which is 4 and 10. 4 and positive 10, mark across. Okay? Okay, I'm doing quadratic graph and changing subject. Any other irrelevant stuff, please do not flood my chat. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, then after that, what you need to do is, of course, you need to join them. Okay, and so now the question is, if you look at the point, let's say this point to this point is a bit far, right? So actually, Teacher Kangie teaches you a way to cheat. Okay, a way to cheat. So you can have more points. You can have more points so that can guide you to draw. So what I did was, you see this one is x is 3, right? This one x is 4, right? So what I'm going to do is, I go and find 3.5. So go back to here, x squared plus x minus 10. So I key in 3.5. I get 5.75. So what I did was 3.5, and then I go find 5.75, and then I put a small dot there. Put a very small dot whereby you cannot even see. You understand? Okay? Put a small dot there so that you will know that I have this dot here, so that this point, when I draw, I can draw to this hidden point here, then I join to here. So this is how you guide you to draw the shape. Because if this point and this point is too far away, you might not be able to join, form a smooth curve. Okay, so this my cheat is, you go and find 3.5, sub and find the y, plot a small dot there, and then this is help you to draw. Yes, use curve ruler also can, but some students don't know how to use the curve ruler. I, Teacher Kangie, also don't know how to use the curve ruler. I feel that curve ruler, I need to bend here, bend there, might as well I just plot additional points to help me to draw, okay? And then after that, what I did was, this point to this point is also quite far for me. So what I did is, I key in 2.5. So I key in 2.5, and I get negative 1.25. So same thing, 2.5 and negative 1.25, I put a hidden dot there. Okay, a hidden dot there. Okay, and then after that, no, we're not minus mark, because you see, can you see my dot? Can you see my hidden dot? No, don't mark across, okay? Mark, I just put a dot there only. Just put a small dot. Just a small dot whereby nobody can see. Okay? Only you yourself can see. Understand? Okay? And then this point to this point, to me, I also find it very far. So again, I start in my 1.5, and then I got a hidden dot here. See? I put there a dot. Okay? Then over here, the 0.5, between 0 and 1 is 0.5. If you want to put one more point there, also can. For me, I also put a point there. Okay? And then after that, what I did was, over same thing also. I put a point in between, all in between, I put a dot. So with that, how am I going to draw? So for Teacher Kangie is right-hander, okay? I'm right-hander. So if I'm a right-hander, how do I draw? You see, we can draw, so you can turn the paper, not just struggle and draw the curve when it is not very smooth. I will talk about the minimum point later. So what I did is, I turn my paper. Because I'm a right-hander, so I go upwards is easy. It's easier for us to draw upwards. Okay, so just now I have my additional dot, so I just join from the cross to my dot, from my dot to the cross. That's how I form the first part. Then same thing, from my cross to my dot, I join. Always use pencil and draw light first. Draw light, draw light. Okay, draw light. Don't draw darken first. Until you confirm the shape, then you darken it a bit. So then after that, from my dot, join to the cross. Again, I have a hidden dot here, right? Join the cross to the hidden dot, join, and then after that, join. So you see, over here, you can see that this 2 point is horizontal. Please, don't go and draw a horizontal line, You know that this is a quadratic curve. A quadratic curve has a maximum or minimum point. So of course, this one I already upside down. So it's supposed to be a minimum point. So it means that you need to make sure that you have to draw a curve whereby you will have a minimum point. So for this case, the minimum point is over here. Okay, it's in the middle between the 0 and -1. So I know it's at negative 0.5. So after that, I complete. See, you can turn the paper, right? So you see over here, what I did was, same thing, I draw from my cross to the dot. And then from the dot to the cross. And then from the cross to the dot to the cross, move up. So I have the shape is already there. Then I darken the shape. Understand? Okay, so I have complete my curve. Next is remember to label this y-axis, label this as x-axis, and label your curve. So this curve is y equals to x squared plus x minus 10. Understand? Okay, so let's answer the question now. Okay, let's answer the question. So over here, they say that, just remember our A and B. So we have to do it behind. So on the graph paper behind, it's a quadratic graph, but the plotting is horizontal. What do you mean? Where got horizontal? I don't understand. Can you ask your question again? Okay. Okay, so then next. So let's see, I turn behind the graph. I'm going to answer this as question 1A. I'm going to say that my A is -8 and my B is 2. Okay? Now, B is to plot the graph. So I'm already done with that. So let's move on to the next part. So take note, part C. Using your graph, take note, they say use your graph. So find the values of x when y equals to -6. So y equals to -6 means you need to draw a horizontal line, y equals to -6. What do you mean by how to draw a y-axis line? You all can ask proper question. You all try to come disturb. My moderator will block and get you out of my chat. Okay? Okay, over here, let's see. So y equals to -6. So I will go to my y-axis, go and find -6. Okay, I have to move a bit up. So my -6 is here. So I need to draw a horizontal line. Okay, horizontal line that cuts through my y equals to -6. So draw a horizontal line and label this as y equals to -6. So what they want is, they want you to find out what is the intersection point. So you will come to here, this is the dot you want, and please draw dotted to the x-axis. So it will be, draw dotted line. Okay, over here also the same thing. So let's see. You see, this is 1.5, right? 1.5 and 1.6. So the in between will be 1.55. So I can label this as 1.55. Come back to here. This is minus 2.5. This is minus 2.6. So this one is minus 2.55. So over here, this is minus 2.55. So then what do? You go to your graph behind. You will say for the C part 1, when y equals to -6, my x is equals to minus 2.55, or x is equals to 1.55. Okay, take note now, this y equals to -6, you will draw a solid horizontal line. But when you go up to find the corresponding x value, you will have to use dotted line. Understand? You have to draw a dotted line. You cannot draw solid line for these two. Only the y equals to -6, you can draw horizontal solid line. Okay? So we are done with this part. Okay. Now solve the equation. Okay, so now this is the part whereby a lot of students always don't know what to do. Okay, so they say that solve the equation. So let's take a look at our original equation. Our original equation, always write this down. My original equation, write it at the side here. It is y equals to x squared plus x minus 10. This is my original equation of the curve, which is here. How you stabilize your hand when drawing graph? You just have to practice lah. You just have to practice. Like I just said, a lot of students struggle, or maybe they tremble the hand is because maybe the point to the point is too far away. Like for example, this point to this point is so far away, then they tremble. They don't know how to draw it. So just now, like I mentioned, we can plot hidden points. Okay, for me, just one more point in between is good enough. You want to be kiasu a bit, you want to sub 3.2 to find this point, 3.5 to find this point, 3.8 to find one more point, and then drawing them also can. But no need so many points, if not you're wasting too much time finding the value. Okay, I only teach maths, yes. So then after that, see, I write out the original here. So what I want you to do is, okay, this is the equation they asked me to solve. And if you notice, this and this is exactly the same. So what I need to do is, I just need to replace this to y. So write this as y. So it's y equals to x plus 1. So in other words, I need to draw additional line. Okay, I need to draw additional line to solve this. And then take note, this is y equals to x plus 1, which is y equals to mx plus c. So we need to draw a straight line, but this straight line is not so straightforward, as in it is not a horizontal line, it is not a vertical line, it is a slope up line. So I need a table of points. So our straight line, I need 3 points. So I'm going to draw a box. X and Y. So I need 3 points. So I'm going to put 3. Okay, so you may ask, what kind of a x value should I put it in? Correct? So let's come back to here. Because our x have -4 to 4. Okay, technically speaking, you don't have to, you can just use among there. Let's say I'm going to use -2. -2, 0, and 2. So if I'm going to put -2, 0, and 2. See, this is the equation of the line. So if my x is -2, -2 plus 1 is -1. 0 plus 1 is 1. 2 plus 1 is 3. Okay? So that means I will come back to my graph paper, go and plot. Yes, you can choose any x value. Any x, Minecraft -4, let's say -4 also can. Because -4 plus 1 give me -3. As long as when you sub it in, the y value is still inside your scale, then it's fine. Okay? So for me is, I put -2, 0, and 2. You want to put -4, 0, and 4 also can. You want to put 0, 1, 2 also can. As long as it's within the x range. Important is, whatever x you choose, you need to sub it into here to find the corresponding y. Understand? So you can choose any x. Yes, can freehand. I use freehand. Okay? So after that, let's plot -2 and -1. -2 and -1. So I have 1 point here, 0 and 1. I have another point here, 2 and 3. 2 and 3. 1 point here. So kids, take note. You see how I draw the line? When I join this line, do you notice that my line doesn't cut the curve? You see? Don't stop there. Don't stop there. Because your objective is, you want to find the, okay, you're trying to find the intersection point. So you need to extend your line. Understand? You need to extend your line. So just continue to draw until it cuts the curve. So I will have join, touch the curve, cut the curve. Understand? So now I have the intersection point. So this is the point I want, and this is the point I want. So with this, I'm going to draw the dotted line down again. Okay, let me see. So from here, I can see that it is 3.1, 3.2, 3.3. So this is 3.3. Come back to here. Here, let's see. So minus 3, minus 3.1, 3.2, and minus 3.3. So this one is also minus 3.3. So with that, of course, don't forget to label your straight line. Remember just now our line was y equals to x plus 1. So now you got to label this as y equals to x plus 1. So come back to here. Then you will say, solve this, right? So you will say, therefore, my x is equals to negative 3.3 or x is equals to 3.3. My bad. I should write it here. Okay, so I'm going to write it here. So part 2, it will be x squared plus x minus 10 equals to x plus 1. So it's y equals to x plus 1. So draw the table. So therefore, x is equals to minus 3.3 or x is equals to 3.3. Done. All good. For EMath, you can always double check your answer using dy dx. No, nothing to do with dy dx now because you are not trying to find gradient. Dy dx is finding gradient. I am not finding any gradient yet. Okay, let's continue. So I'm done with this part. Let's see. Yes, I'm done with the first question. So I repeat. Okay. Okay, I have my scale over here. Okay, I have my scale over here, and then please make sure that you label your y-axis, x-axis, plot the point. If you need more points, quietly put the dot there to guide you on the curve, okay? And then after that, please make sure that when you draw the horizontal line, just now when I want to solve for y equals to negative 6, this can be a solid line. And then for the dotted up, you have, this one must be dotted, okay? And then just now the additional line that I draw, please remember to label. So this straight line is y equals to x plus 1. The curve is y equals to x squared plus x minus 10. So again, the line will cut the curve. Then you draw the dot, dot, dot up. You draw the dot, 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 dot down. And that's a 2 value to solve the last part of the question. Okay, so let's come back. So I'm done with this first question. Yes, hi my crowd. Good. So everyone is back. Okay, so I'm going to do the second question. Okay, yes, thanks for sharing. This is quadratic graph, and I'm going to do changing subject later part. So if you know anyone who is doing this topic for the WA1, share this live with them so that they can come in and learn together. Okay? Okay, next question. I will be doing 3 quadratic graph question. This is the second one. Could you please explain about manipulation of the quadratic equation to make a tangent? No, it's not manipulation of quadratic equation to make a tangent. It should be manipulation of the quadratic equation to make a linear equation. Not make a tangent. Tangent is only when they say, okay, find the gradient at this particular point. Then yes. but your question should be manipulation of the quadratic equation to make a tangent. So just now, that question is already there, whereby this is the equation they ask you to solve using your quadratic graph. So what I did was, on this side you have to write your original. This is your original. That means the curve that you have just drawn. So what you do is, you need to so-called massage out the one that you have drawn. So x squared plus x minus x is already there. So all I need to do is replace these three terms with y. So this one leave alone. So that means now I need to draw y equals to x plus 1. So I need a table of points and then I plot the straight line. Okay? Okay, let's move on to the next one. Okay, so now the variable y equals to 2x squared minus 4x minus 7. So same thing, I have an unknown here. So what I'm going to do is 2x squared minus 4 bracket minus 7. So I always do it in this form, so that I can just replace the bracket with the x that I want to find. So now I want to try to find the y for minus 3, right? So I'm going to sub in negative 3. Easier ma? If not, I always have to key again. So if I key this way with the bracket, I just remove whatever is inside the bracket and replace it, right? Oh no, later I will write, don't worry. Okay, so see, when I sub in, I get 23. That one was my original working. Okay, so now my 23, so this is 23. This is 23, this is 23. So when my x is minus 3, my p is 23, my y is 23. It's the same thing. So all the other points are already given to you. So now come back to here. Let's take a look at the scale. So the scale they have mentioned, for the x-axis, they want 2 cm to represent 1 unit. They want 2 cm to represent 4 units on the y-axis. And they want you to draw for minus 3 to 4. And remember, I mentioned that I want to know what's the y range as well. So let's take a look at the y range. Look at the y. What is the most negative? Most negative is minus 9. Most positive is 23. So you can see from here, minus 9 and 23, I have more positive. It means that when I draw my horizontal line, it will be lower. So again, I have drawn. So let's take a look. I have write the scale here. So x-axis 2 cm to 1 unit, y-axis is 2 cm to 4 unit. So you can see that my minus x-axis, your x-axis is minus 3 to 4. Again, it's quite balanced. So my vertical line is around the middle. So you can see that my y-axis, I draw it around in the middle of the paper. And then look at my horizontal line over here. If you notice, I draw it lower. You see, this part compared to this part, you see the distance? Do you see the distance? Because just now we have planned that my y range, I only need negative 9. I need more positive y. Okay? And that's why I have to draw my horizontal line lower. Okay? So I need minus 9, right? And they have mentioned they want 2 cm for 4 units. That's why I put 0, negative 4, negative 8, and negative 12. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, and 24. Please label your y-axis. My x-axis is from negative 3 to 4. Minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, and label arrow with the x-axis. You understand? So this is how you plot the x-axis and y-axis first. Then next is plot the points. So minus 3 and 23. Minus 3, read the x first. X-axis, minus 3, 23 is over here. Okay, so I mark a cross over there. The next one is minus 2 and 9. So minus 2 and 9, mark a cross. So this one I don't need to say already. Mark the cross, 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 cross according to the table. Understand? After that, remember what I say. If you find the points, you see this. If you find the cross points are too far away, you can always find additional points. So this point is -2 and -3. So I go and find -2.5. And then you can put a dot there. Okay? Between -2 and -1, you can go and find -1.5, and then I put a dot there. I put a dot in between the points lah. So it's easier for me to draw. Okay? Because for me is I use freehand. So if I have more points, it's easier for me to follow the shape. You understand? So again, I repeat, you can always turn your paper. Be flexible, you can turn the paper because it's easier for us to go upwards. For me lah, right-handed. It's easier for us to go upwards. So I can just turn the paper, and then I can just turn, and then after that I can just turn, and turn, and turn. Okay? And that's how I get a better shape. Okay? So this is how I plot the curve. So now let's go and answer their question. So let's see what's the question behind. Okay, so just now someone asked about the minimum point, correct? Find the coordinate of the minimum point. Good. Hopefully your WA1 is tested on quadratic graph. Okay, so look at my curve. Look at my curve. You can see that for this case, the minimum point is actually this one. Okay, this is my minimum point. Minimum point means the lowest point for this situation. This is a happy face. If it's a happy face, means that it is a minimum point. If you're going to draw this shape, of course this will be a maximum point. Okay, so for a quadratic graph, it is either a happy face or a sad face. So let's come back to here. My minimum point, you can see that it is 1. The x coordinate is 1. And then I'm going to do. Actually, I don't have to work out here. You know why? Because it was one of my point. Agree? It was the point whereby it is at 1 here. 1 and -9. Take note, not every time the minimum or maximum point is on the table. Like just now the question, the other question. Just now the first question, remember? My minimum point is here. It is not inside the table. So my minimum point, as long as my x value, okay, this one, my x value is negative 0.5. When I come down here and I put over here, as long as I put -10 point something, they will not penalize you. As long as you don't put -10, because if you put -10, definitely you are wrong. It must be below -10, then you will be correct. You understand? Most importantly is the teacher will see your shape lah. Okay? Then come back to here. My minimum point is 1 and -9. So I'm going to answer their question. Again, turn to the graph behind. So remember, this is my question 2, part A. They asked me to find P. So my P is 23. So now my B is the plot graph I don't need. Now my part C, I will say my minimum point. My graph, it can only either have a maximum or minimum point. It cannot have both. Why do I say that? You see, this graph, if I'm going to go up all the way, it actually go infinity up, you know. This one also go infinity up. So there's no maximum y. Agree or not? So for this one, it's definitely only minimum. It's only graph that, let's say, is this shape. Then yes, you have a maximum point. So it's either have a maximum or minimum point. It cannot have both. It cannot have both. So my minimum point is equals to 1, -9. Done. Okay, thanks for the rows. Wait, do you use curve ruler, draw, or freehand? I use freehand. Beautiful. Okay, so just now I already teach the kids. What I did was I put a dot. I go and find a value for -2.5, find one more point here, but I put a dot there only. I put a dot so that I have more points for me to draw the shape. Okay? Okay, so now let's answer their question over here. This is the part whereby a lot of students always ask, especially part 2. So let's take a look at part 1 first. So my D part 1, they asked to find the solution to the equation. Remember I say that always write out your original equation first. Equation of the curve was y equals to 2x squared minus 4x minus 7. Always write out the original equation of the curve on at the side first. They asked me to solve for 2x squared minus 4x minus 7 equals to 0. And if you notice, this is exactly the same as this. So I'm going to replace it with y. So that means it's actually y equals to 0. So I'm supposed to plot the line y equals to 0. But I don't have to draw additional line y because the y equals to 0 is actually this is the x-axis. So you go back to your graph. Where's your x-axis? Over here. So go and find out what is the intersection point, which is here. Okay, so it will be 3.15. 3.15. This will be minus 1, minus 1.1. Okay, so you see, minus 1.1. But it's not minus 1.15. It's a bit lesser. But I can tell you to play a little bit of cheat, which is this is what I do when it is so close. I want it to go to the 0.5. Then I will just adjust my then now you see it cuts at half. So this one is negative 1.15. So come back to here, we will say x will be equals to negative 1.15 or x equals to 3.15. And we're done. So this is easy. Why? Because it's just finding out the curve cut the x-axis at where. So now let's take a look at the part 2. So just now someone it's fine. Okay, so let's see part 2. The solution to the equation whereby, okay, I'm going to write here, see here. Write out the equation they asked me to solve. They say 2x squared minus 4x equals to 9. So remember, I asked you to write out the equation of the curve. You can write at the side. So what you need to do is throw everything to the left hand side first. So I have 2x squared minus 4x minus 9 equals to 0. Then I want you to write out this one first. So it's 2x squared minus 4x minus 7. So now you compare, you compare. They ask you to solve the equation whereby it's minus 9. But my curve is minus 7. So you need to ask yourself what additional value I need to add. So that means I need to put minus 2. Agree now? Minus 7 minus 2 is minus 9. Okay? Okay, so it's 2x squared minus 4x minus 7 minus 2 equals to 0. So take note, this is this. Right? So now you're going to replace this with y. And you will know is y equals to 2 equals to 0. And they want you to draw the line for y equals to 2. So this is how you manipulate the quadratic equation into the equation additional graph or the line that you need to draw on the graph. Okay? So I repeat. Okay, I repeat. So write out the equation that they asked me to solve. Throw it to the left hand side. Always write out the equation of the curve that you have over here so that you can copy it and write it here. Then you have to ask yourself, what are the additional terms I need to contribute in order to make it the same. So in this case, I have to put minus 2. So I need to draw the line for y equals to 2. So y equals 2 is a horizontal line. So go to your graph and then draw y equals to 2. Y equals to 2 is over here. So I need to draw a horizontal line. Okay, draw a horizontal line and label this as y equals to 2. Then what you need to do is draw the dotted line. So over here, I'm going to mark out is here. Okay, you see, I play cheat, right? I've drawn the dot a bit bigger. So then after that, I can have in the middle. Okay, and this value, it will be 3.123, 3.35. Okay, now come back to here. Let me draw the dot here. And I'm going to draw down the dotted line. So this one will be a minus 1, minus 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.35. So it's minus 1.35. So I will know that it is 3.35 and minus 1.35. So it will say, okay, x is equals to minus 1.35 or x is equals to 3.35. Done. How to know when to draw solid line and when to draw dotted line? I have mentioned already, when you draw horizontal line, okay, because you want to draw the horizontal line to know where the line cuts your curve. So it's a solid line. Okay, and then you want to find the intersection point, you will want to go back and to the x-axis and find out what's the x value, right? Then that is a dotted line, understand? Dotted line. Okay, so we are done with this part. Yep, I'm done with this part. So remember this this part 2 So can go and watch my TikTok. My YouTube replay on this part on how I massage it. Understand? Okay, how I draw the graph so smooth. Yes, practice makes perfect. That's one thing. Another thing is I draw additional points to help me to draw the shape. And you can turn the paper, okay? Because we are always easier to draw upwards. You can always turn the paper so that it's easier for you to draw. Okay, let's go to the third graph question. Okay. Yeah, I also agree. Now kids are so convenient to have TikTok to learn math, right? Okay, let's come back to here. So this question, I choose this question so that it's a real life question. So a toy firm make a profit of Y. So the Y represent profit. And they say the X represent the number of toys. So this is the equation of the curve. And they ask you to draw from 0 to 80. So they already draw the table. So I only need to find these two. Not this one. So again, like I mentioned, we go to key in 32 bracket minus 200 minus 3 over 10 bracket square. So I'm going to key in 20. So go into the bracket, key in 20. Ta-da! 320. So my P is 320. Now I want to key in 60. Again, go back to the bracket, delete 60. Go into the bracket, delete 60, and I get 640. Yes, bro, yes. Minecraft even send you a reminder to come in, right? You never come in, Okay, but you can go and watch my YouTube channel. See the previous, because you wanted to ask about quadratic expansion and factorization. So I did quite a lot of questions. Go into my TikTok to view the video. Don't forget to subscribe. Okay, so this is 640. So now I have all my points. So let's see next. So over here, using a scale of 2 cm to represent 10 toy, 2 cm to represent $100. They want you to draw from x0 to 80. The y is minus 20 to 700. So this one, they already tell you the range, right? So you know that you need to draw your y value, which is minus 200, but more positive. So, and you see, take note of your x. Do you notice that there's no negative x value? So if there's no negative x value, you can see that I draw my vertical line all the way to the extreme left. And then my horizontal line, I draw it lower because I only need to go to minus 200, but I need 700. So I need my horizontal line to be lower. I don't need any negative x, and that's why my horizontal line is all the way to the end. And always make sure you plan first, because you need to draw from 0 to 80. So imagine you wanted to put here. Okay, imagine you wanted to put here. Then you see, if this is 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 8, I got not enough space to do 80. Then you know that it's not enough space, right? Then you need to go to the extreme left. Then you see, 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 are enough. Then you can draw the line down. You understand? Same apply for the horizontal line. You need to plan first before you go and draw the horizontal and vertical line. Then after that, 0, minus 100 and 200. So then after that, I go and find out 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600 are enough space. So this is how I decide where I draw my vertical line and where I draw my horizontal line. Okay, so then after that, thanks yes bro for the rows. Okay, so then after that, next is of course plot the points. So plotting points, I don't need to repeat already. Always read the x before you read the y. 0 minus 200, 10, 100, 20, 300, 30, 500. Mark across, mark across, mark across, mark across. Then join them. And I repeat, if you need this, if these 2 points are too far away, you can go and key in 5. Remember just now I have the 5, this one, right? So go back to the bracket and key in 5. Go back to the bracket and key in 5. And you will see that, oh, so it's minus 47.5. So I went to 5 and minus 47.5 is around here. Put a small dot there. Put a small dot there. Then this one between 10 and 20, I key in 15. See, I key in 15. I get 212.5. So my 15, I go find 212.5, I put a dot there. Just put a small dot. You're not supposed to put a cross. You put a cross, teacher will mark you wrong. Why? Because that is not supposed to be the points that you are supposed to plot. The small dot is only for you to guide you so that the points are not too far away. You can join them easily. Understand? Okay. So now the shape has done. Don't forget to label y-axis, label x-axis, and label your graph. Yes, the dot is to guide. Because sometimes, you see, like for example, this point and this point is so far away, right? Then sometimes we so kanjiong, it's like, oh, I cannot join, I don't know how to join, too far away. Then you go and find more points in between, put a dot so that you know that you draw this cross to the dot to the cross. I have a point here, right? So I draw the cross to the dot to the cross. So it's not so far away. It's easier for you to join. Understand? Please make the dot as invisible as possible. Only you yourself can see. Okay? And then after that, we already draw. So let's answer their question. I'm not doing any discriminant now. Okay? Okay, use your graph to estimate the profit made when 45 toys were produced. So if you recall in front, the question did mention that toys is using X. So when they say 45 toys, they are saying X is equals to 45. So it means that you go to your graph, go and find X is equals to 45, which is over here. Okay, then I need to draw a vertical line. Dotted. Because I want to find the corresponding Y. So draw the dotted. And of course I want to find the corresponding Y. So go and find the corresponding Y. So let's say this is the point. Then I will just draw over. Okay, join here. So what is the value over here? 600, 10, 20, 30. So this is 630. Okay, 630. So it means that 45 toys, the profit will be $630. So don't forget, right here, just now I have a value that I haven't write. So this one over here, you will write question 3A, my P is equals to 320, my Q is equals to 640. Kids, sometimes you all draw the table, you all write the points here, but you all forget to write the answer here. Because you are supposed to find the value of P and Q, you got to give the answer on the graph paper. If not, the teacher cannot mark. Understand? Okay. Next is our part B is draw graph, so I don't need my part B. My part C, so I will write C part 1. I will say when X equals to 45, my Y is equals to 630. Done. But wait, I don't want to put like that. You know why? Because they ask you what is the profit. I know my Y is 630. And you will recall back what is Y. They mentioned that Y is the profit. Okay? So I will say that therefore profit is $630. We answer their question. Write the statement and answer their question. Okay? Now 6 part 2. They ask you to find the number of toys produced when profit is 550. This means that Y is equals to 550. Okay? No problem. So go to Y equals to 550. Where is it? Let's see. My 550 will be between here. So this is my 550. And then let's draw the dotted line. Okay? So we will have here so this one, let's see, I'm going to draw the dotted line. You draw the dotted bigger, bigger. Then after that I can join this line down already, so that it lands nicely on a number. It's either 0.5 or a nice integer. So this one is, wow, so nice, 35. 35, Not just that, kids, not just that, Do you notice that your 550 also have another point? So you need to extend, because you're supposed to find Y equals to 5. This one you want to draw horizontal solid line also can. Okay, dotted line over. So I'm going to draw down this point and draw the dotted line down. So this is 72. Okay. Okay, 72. 35 and 45. So after that, what I'm going to do is, remember to answer their question over here. So part 2, when Y is equals to 550, my X is equals to 35 and 72, right? Sorry, 35 and 72. So 35 or X is equals to 72. So answer their question. They ask the number of toys produced to give a profit of 550. So it means therefore it is either 35 toys or 72 toys. Okay? Okay, let's move on. Part 3. They ask, what is the number of toys produced to give the maximum profit and the profit made per toy? Correct to the nearest dollar when its number of toys is produced. Maximum profit. So now you look at your graph. Okay, remember Y is our profit. X is our number of toys. Maximum profit means maximum Y. So from my graph, I will say that this one will be my maximum. Let's see, because I have a dot. So it's very disgusting if I have 0.5 toys, right? So Teacher Kangie got to play cheat again, because you see over here you can actually let's make this one to be my maximum. So I will just need to join and join. So now my maximum is this point already. Agree? So what I can do is just draw down. Sorry, I'm too busy drawing graph. No time to see question if you ask question. Okay. So my maximum profit is, this is 650,660. So my maximum profit is 660 and it happens at 54 toys. Okay, so I will go to my graph behind. I will say part 3. Maximum profit equals to 660. Number of toys equals to 54. So they ask you, what is the profit made per toy? So actually you need to do one more step. 6660 divided by 54, because they want per toy. This is 54 toy. So 660 divided by 54, I get 12.2222. And don't worry, because they already say that correct to the nearest dollar. So round it off to the nearest dollar, it is $12 per toy. You can put a bracket, this is nearest dollar. Understand so far? Oh, so hot. Sweating like mad. Okay. Okay. Last part, IV. So this is the last part of the question before I go to the changing subject. Okay, now they ask the value of y when x equals to 5. Okay, hence explain the blah blah blah. So when I go to my graph, when x equals to 5, my y is this. Okay, you see, this question never asks you to use. Okay, maybe I can use. Let's go 5. Let's go 5. 5. Let's find the value. So from here we can see that actually this one is, if you want you can play cheat, as in we know this one is negative. Let's go back to this one. 32, 5 minus 200 minus 0.3 bracket 5 and then square. Minus 47.5. You cannot see, minus 47.5. So I know this one is minus 47.5. So over here you will say for IV, when my x is equals to 5, my y is equals to negative 47.5. Then they ask you, what is the significance of this answer? Negative 47.5, what does it tell you? So you must write a very important thing to state what is the minus 47.5 means. What does the negative 47.5 means? Because they ask you what is the significance. Okay, I already tell you that I have two moderators here. You all don't be funny in my chat group. I have no control over who they want to block and who they want to mute. Don't come and cry to me. Why is it I get blocked or what? I believe they have their reason to block you. Okay. So, nobody answer. Okay, so actually the negative 47.5. Remember our y is profit. Y is profit. So if it's negative means I'm making a loss. So you will say negative 47.5 represent loss of $47.50. Okay, so you have to say the significant, because they ask you what's the significance of this answer. You have to say negative 47.5 represent a loss. This is the keyword, a loss of $47.50. Okay, good that you understand now. Okay, so just some question to ask you. Can I ask? I produce toy. I produce 5 toy. I produce 5 toy. Why is it I still making a loss? Shouldn't be making a profit, because I actually sell 5 toy. So anyone can give me some very logical answer to why is it that I'm still making a loss when I make 5 toy? While I drink water, maybe someone can help me to type out what is it. Why is it that I make a loss of $47.50 when I make 5 toy? When I make 5 toy and sell 5 toy, by right I should earn money, mama. Correct? Wow, good. That's a very good one. The cost of making the toy is more than the selling. Yes, you are right. Okay, because in order to produce the toys, you have to hire people to operate the machine and blah blah blah. Right? There's already cost when you're already making. Is selling price does not cover the cost price for making the toy. Yes, well done. Very good explanation. Okay, so if they ask the question, why is it that it make a loss? These are the explanation you should give. Selling price lower than cost. No, it's not selling price lower than cost. Yeah, also can. Also can. Selling price is lower than cost. I should say the number of toys that I sell, the total amount that I receive, has not covered my cost price of operating and producing the toy. Okay? Okay, let's move on to the next topic, which is changing subject. And I also, while choosing the questions to go through tonight, I realized that my YouTube channel has the free lessons on my changing subject. I think it is a 30 minutes Zoom video that I teach about changing subject. So if you need more questions and more in-depth explanation, please go to my YouTube channel or go to this worksheet and download this worksheet and click on this link. Okay, so this link will go directly to the changing subject lesson. If not, you go to my bio now, click on the second button, go and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Okay, go and find all the videos that you want over there. Understand? So please, all view the video, please help me to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you very much. Okay, so let's continue this. So changing subject. So it is given that y equals to blah blah blah, 5y equals to this. So actually this part 1 is actually a formula. So my y is equals to 3x plus 2z over 9x minus z. So this is the formula. So they said find y when x equals to 2 and z equals to 3. So let's change our x to be bracket 3x plus 2z over 9x minus z. Throw in the x equals to 2, x equals to 2, z equals to 3, and z equals to 3. Then it's just key calculator. Okay, put a fraction. 3 bracket 2 plus 2 bracket 3 over 9 bracket 2 minus 3. And it gives me 4 over 5. So you can either put as 4 over 5 or put 0.8 also can accept. So this one is just subbing values. Very easy. So most students are not able to do changing subject. So I'm going to write the original equation formula here, which is y is equals to 3x plus 2z over 9x minus z. So I'm going to make x a subject. My task is to make x on the left hand side. Okay, so what should I do? I need to do cross multiply. Make sure that both sides are single fraction. This one, right hand side is single fraction. Y, I just need to put y over 1. Now I can do my cross multiply. So that means y rainbow with 9x minus z equals to 1 times 3x plus 2z. Rainbow, I get 9xy minus yz equals to 3x plus 2z. Okay? So I have simplified this part. Then next thing is, I want to make the x a subject. So all the terms that have x throw to the left hand side. So 9xy will remain. This 3x I bring to the left hand side become minus 3x. 2z will remain. Minus yz got no x, so I'm going to throw it to the right hand side. So it's plus yz. So now I have two terms that have x. Okay, these two terms have no x, so maintain that. So two terms that have x, I take out common factor x. Take out x, I get 9y minus 3. So all I need to do, the last step is, this is x times 9y minus 3. So x will be equals to 2z plus yz over 9y minus 3. Then we are done. As long as my left hand side is single x, 1x, my right hand side got no x, and I am safe. This is making x the subject. You understand? So I repeat. What I did was, I make my y into a single fraction by put over 1. Cross multiply, rainbow as per normal. Okay, whatever terms that have the x that you want, throw to the left hand side. Whatever terms that doesn't have x, throw to the right hand side. So if I have two terms that have x, for this case, is fine. I just take out common factor x, and then I left with 9y minus 3. So just bring this, which one must put bracket? Or the 9y minus 3, not necessary. Not necessary to put a bracket. Okay? This one is not necessary to put. Not necessary, not necessary. So just make a check. 1x, no x on the right hand side. Okay? So this is the first question. Let's move on. Okay, let's see. Okay, see here, I'm going to write the question. 2c is equals to cube root e square over d. Okay, so what we're going to do is, for this case is I want to solve my c. So actually I just need to sub in values first. So 2c is equals to cube root, my e will be 9, so it's 9 square over 3. So this will be cube root 27. Okay, and cube root 27 is 3, so it becomes 2c equals to 3. I want to solve c, so c is equals to 3 over 2. So you can put it as 3 over 2, or you want to put as 1.5, or you want to put as 1.5, also can. Because they are the same value, it's just different presentation. Okay? Okay, now that's the tough part. Okay, subbing formula is easy, okay? Just sub in, use a bracket accordingly, and just use calculator. Now is the changing subject that always kill people. But before that, let me write out the question first. So it is 2c equals to cube root e square over d. Valerie, I'm doing live on every Wednesday 8 to 9:30 and every Sunday 5 to 6:30. Okay? Express E. See, express E. So now the very sad thing is my E is hidden right inside. So how am I going to dig it out? Okay? Why is the first question 1 mark? Is the working not counted? No, 1 mark is because you just need to sub in values only, ma. So yes, the answer mark. But of course, if you're going to just give the answer C equals to 1.5, I don't think you will get even the 1. I don't think you can even get the 1 mark. Okay? Okay. So first step, we got, this is cube root. This is cube root. So I'm going to cube both sides. So you need to cube both sides. So it will be 2c cubed. And when you cube the cube root, that means it's only the E2 over D. Understand? Yeah. Because this is cube root, so I need to cube both sides. So when I cube both sides, 2c put inside the bracket to the power of 3. And the right hand side, you just remove the cube root. Okay, then 2 to the power of 3 is 8, so it's 8c cubed equals to E2 over D. I'm going to put this one as over 1 so that I can do my cross multiply. So now do your cross multiply, you will get 8c cubed D equals to E squared. So I'm supposed to make E the subject, right? So my E squared now is on my right hand side. So now I'm going to completely flip it. So when I completely flip it, I don't need to change any sign. So I write it as E squared equals to 8c cubed D. Okay, you see, I completely flip it. I don't need to change the sign. So now I want to get my E. So my E is just square root 8c cubed D. And take note, every time you square root, you need to put the plus minus. And we are done. Just do a last check. Left hand side, 1E. Right hand side, no E. Okay? So this is how you do this question. So the trick is, when you see cube root, you cube both sides. When you see square root, you square both sides. Okay? Make into single fraction on both sides. Cross multiply to make it flat. Okay? Okay, thanks for sharing. Help me to share the video to your friend. Those who are very weak in changing subject. Okay? Okay, let's move on to question 3. So question 3, part 1 is easy, just subbing in only. So I will go very fast. So S is equals to 6t over 5 n square minus m cube. So this one, press calculator and I will get, just now I got to do. Okay, this one you will get 45.0774. Okay, this one very straightforward. I want to focus on changing subject. This one sub value only, this one I think 9 out of 10 students can do it. Okay, so now over here, S is equals to 6t over 5 m square minus m cube. So now my objective is to make n the subject. Again, my n is hidden here. So how am I going to bring it to the left hand side? First one, no need out 3SF. No need. Raphael, no need. Because if you press this into a calculator, 45.0774 is exact. You don't see any decimal behind. So you don't need to round it off to 3SF. So a lot of students always thought that every time must round off to 3SF. If the answer is a really nice decimal, this is called terminating decimal. That means you don't need to round off. You only need to round off when it is non-terminating decimal. Okay, let's continue. So, I have few ways to do it. Okay, some students do rainbow first, right? I can also bring these to the left hand side. So, you see, this is the multiply, right? If you know that this is multiply, if I bring over, it becomes S divided by 6t over 5. Okay, this is times 60 over 5. So if I bring over, become divide 60 over 5. And this one, I just manipulate S over 1, multiply, flip this one, 5 over 60. So what I'm going to do is, this is just 5s over 6t equals to n squared minus m cubed. So my task is to make n the subject. Again, my n squared is on my right side. So I'm going to completely flip it. So it becomes n squared minus m cubed equals to 5s over 6t. Just bring my m cubed over. My n squared equals to 5s over 6t plus m cubed. Okay, and the last step, I did a lot of, can you do the N level paper 22021? Flip for Hey, you want to come here and learn math or what? Can no need to be so vulgar or not? Okay, so n square equals to blah blah blah. So the last step, square root. So n is equals to square root 5s over 6t plus n cubed. And remember, square root, please put the plus minus. Okay? This is express. Normal acad also learn changing subject. So this is applicable for normal acad and express. My YouTube channel has a lot of videos on Trigo. Please go and see my YouTube channel videos. Okay, so we are done on this part. Okay, so I have 2 more questions to go. So question 4. Let's sub in. Why square root need to plus minus? Because let me do an example. Yes, the worksheet I'm doing now is express, but like I mentioned, normal acad also do changing subject. Okay. I want to say what? Okay. Because you see, let's say I have x squared equals to 4. So we know that 2 times 2 gives me 4, right? But you see, when I do x equals to square root 4, why do I need to put the plus minus? Thank you for this, because I'm in express class and it's confusing sometimes. Yes, changing subject, a lot of students struggle. Okay, so like for those who miss out, I've mentioned that my YouTube channel has this changing subject. It's about 30 minutes. So I did quite a lot of questions there. So you all can go there and see. So over here, x is equals to plus minus square root 4. So is x is equals to plus minus 2. Why is that so? My x answer is 2 or negative 2. Why? Why? Because 2 times 2 gives me 4. Negative 2 times negative 2 also gives me 4. So when I square root 4, I should have 2 or negative 2. 2 answer. Okay. Linda, yes, your son watched my video, is it? Yeah, I think I have quite a lot of students who come to me and say that they the kids understand the math questions on my live. Okay, get your son to watch my TikTok more lah. Okay, so this is why I have to put plus minus. Understand? Good. What limitation? I don't know what you're talking about. I only teach Sec 1 to Sec 5. Okay, EMath and AMath. Let's go to this one. Okay, this one just sub in. I just sub very fast. So this will be 1.54 plus half 2t4 square. Press calculator, you will get 22. Okay. Okay, now let's change subject. So this is s is equals to ut plus half at squared. Okay, good. So now let's see. I'm supposed to make a the subject. So do you see that my a is hidden here? But and then one thing is I want to keep my half a to be completely, I want it to be positive. If I'm going to bring this to the left hand side, it becomes negative. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to completely flip it. Completely flip it. So it becomes ut plus half at squared equals to s. When I completely flip it, I don't need to change any of the sign. Then I want to keep a the subject. So I'm going to keep this at my left hand side. No need to touch it first. So I'm going to bring my ut to the right hand side. So it becomes s minus ut. Okay, so now this very disgusting half is here, right? So what I'm going to do is, because it's an equation, I can times 2 throughout. Half times 2 gives me 1. So now it becomes at squared equals to 2s minus 2ut. What I did was times 2 because there's a half there. You only can times a number throughout when it's an equation. Equation means you see equal, then you can do that. Don't do that for expression. So now, easy already, because I'm going to make A the subject, right? Remember, this is A multiplied by T squared. So it becomes A equals to 2S minus 2UT over T squared. So do a last check. A is a single A, which is 1A. Right hand side got no A. And this is my final answer. Okay? So this is how I do changing subject for this question. So now we have the last question to do. Oh no, I have 2 more questions of changing subject. 2 more, 2 more. So M is equals to 2 square root G over H minus P. Okay, this one, why I choose this question is because a lot of times students see number in front of the square root, they panic. They don't know what to do with the 2. Okay? So let's see what we need to do first. My interest is to make H a subject. And since my H is here, okay, I'm going to bring my minus P to the right hand side, left hand side first. So it becomes M plus P equals to 2 square root G over H. Okay? Power half. No, that's not power half. That's no, you don't need to write power half. Don't do power half. This is not indices. This is making H a subject. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, remember this number is actually times 2. So if it's times 2, I bring to the other side is divided by 2 So just write M plus P over 2 equals to square root G over H. Agree? So the trick is, this is times 2. I bring to the left hand side, become divide by 2. Now it's easy for me. When I see square root, what do? I square both sides. So now I'm going to square both sides. So when I square this, it's just the inside. Understand? Okay, now this one, I'm going to write this as M plus P square over 2 times 2 is 4. So we are not done yet because I want to make H a subject, right? So come to here, I continue. Cross multiply, I will have H multiplied by M plus P square equals to 4G. I did the cross multiply, so H times M plus P square is equals to 4G. So some students ask me, do I have to rainbow the M plus P square? Not necessary. In fact, you don't need to. Okay? Because my M plus P square, there's no H inside. So you can just leave the M plus P square as it is. So now easy already. This is H multiply, right? So now I want to make H a subject. H is equals to 4G over M plus P square. And we are done. So let's do a check. Left hand side 1H, right hand side no H. Done. So just do step by step. What I did was, my minus P I bring to the left hand side first. There's an irritating 2 here, don't worry, it's a times 2. So just divide by 2. Bring the 2 over, become divide by 2. Want to get rid of the square root? Square both sides. Okay? So when you square the left hand side, please make sure you square the numerator, square the denominator. That's why I have M plus P square and 2 to the power of 2 is 4. Then I cross multiply. So H times M plus P square equals to 4G. This is H times. So if I bring over the M plus P square, it's become divide. Okay? Okay, so now number 2 was times with the square. Yes, the number 2 is times with the, not times with the square. What number 2? It's times with the square root. The number 2 is times with the square root. Okay? Don't, this is not square root, I already bring the 2 over. 2 when I bring over become divide by 2. See? Times 2 bring over it become divide by 2. That's how I so-called get rid of the number. Okay, let's move on to the last question for the night. Okay, so I'm going to write Q is equals to 1/3 square root x minus 2y over x. I'm going to ignore your question. I don't know what you're asking. Okay, can someone please go and block this Sir Bobert? I think he's trying to be funny over here. Okay, so over here, let's make X a subject. X a subject. So now, take a look. My X is inside. How am I going to dig out the X? Okay. So, can someone... Now, you see, I already did 4 changing subject question with you. This is the 5th question tonight. So, can someone tell me what should I do? See whether anyone learned something tonight. Yes, times 3. Okay. Good, times 3. Or you can do divide by 1/3 also can. Because when I divide by 1/3, it's the same as times 3. Okay. So I'm going to times 3 on both sides. So times 3. 3q. And because 1/3 times 3 is 1, so it becomes this. Just now someone said divide by 1/3, which is good, okay? I just let you know that q, when I divided by 1/3, is the same as q over 1 times 3 over 1. So it is also the same. So I just want to write over here. In case you wonder, why is it that I didn't do divide by 1/3? So it's the same. Divide by 1/3 and times 3 is the same thing. So now I can square both sides. So now square this. And then this becomes x minus 2y over x. This one, it becomes 9q squared equals to x minus 2y over x. Then I'm going to put this as 9q squared over 1. Cross multiply. Square both sides. Yes, I square both sides already. Okay. Cross multiply, so I have 9q squared x equals to x minus 2y. Yes, well done. So now what can I do? My task is to make x a subject. Make x a subject. So what do I do now? Wow, I don't know how you can key q squared power. X minus 2y. So what should I do? I need to make x a subject. Divide by 9q squared. No, I cannot do that. You know why? Because do you notice that my right hand side still got x? Plus 2y to the left. No. Move x over. Yes. Shift all the terms with x to the left. Well done, chicken rice. Okay. Remember, we want x as a subject. So bring all the terms with the x to the left hand side. The terms with no x keep on the right hand side. So I'm going to bring, okay, but this one will become negative. Okay, never mind. I'm going to bring the x over. 9q squared x minus x equals to minus 2y. It's okay, I can keep my minus 2y here. I can keep my minus 2y here. If let's say you find that it's very ugly, okay, then what you can do is I can times negative 1 throughout, so that I don't see minus 2y. Okay, that's also one way. But it is fine. Now my question is, I have 2 terms that have x. What should I do? So I have a few smart students over here who are listening to me. Now I have 2 terms that have x. So what should I do to my... What should I do next? What should I do next? Well done, chicken rice. Factorize out the x, okay? So take out the common factor x. Yes, well done, Nicholas. So I left with 9q squared minus 1. Take note, when I take out x, this is minus 1. Some students say, oh, take out x, become disappear already. No, take note, there's a minus 1. Equals to minus 2y. Good. So let's continue here. So x is simply minus 2y over 9q squared minus 1. Actually, this is good enough. Make sure the left hand side is 1x, right hand side got no x. This is fine. But look at the answer over here. the bottom become 3q minus 1, 3q plus 1. Why is that so? Okay, what they did was they go and factorize the denominator, which I feel that is not necessary for this question, because they never asked us to simplify the fraction. They asked us to make x a subject. You understand? But just to highlight, just to state over here, why is it that the answer is this? Is because 9q square minus 1, it is equal to something square minus something square, which is 3q and 1, which is 3q plus 1 and 3q minus 1. So this is, I use the formula a square minus b square is equals to a plus b, a minus b. Okay? Yes, they factorize the answer, but it's not necessary to factorize. Okay? Because this one is the objective is to make x the subject. Unless the question says simplify the expression, then yes, you need to factorize it. So we are done. So well done. Okay. So these are done through. I have gone through 5 changing subject formula questions and then 3 graph questions. For those who missed out, remember to go to my Telegram channel to download the PDF. I will upload the question plus the solution. Okay, and also go to my YouTube channel. You can also watch the replay, which will be only uploaded tomorrow. Okay, and if you go to my YouTube channel, please remember to help me to subscribe to my YouTube channel.